I welcome you all this session, that is cavitation in centrifugal pump. Before starting with the cavitation phenomenon, we need to understand what is a vapor pressure in a liquid. Consider a two vessel containing the water at 20 degrees Celsius and normal atmospheric pressure. Initially, we have to heat this water, so at 100 degrees Celsius this water start boiling. After water start boiling, the empty space in this vessel, in this empty space, the water vapor start collecting. After some time, this vapor start exerting the pressure on this liquid surface, and this pressure is called as vapor pressure of that water for this condition at normal atmospheric pressure. Means in first case we are getting the vapor pressure by means of the heating of the water or by means of the boiling of the water. Means boiling of the water result in the vapor pressure. This is the first case. So we can reverse this process also. Means by supplying or by attaining the vapor pressure we can have the boiling of the water. For that we have to just refer the second case. In second case, in other words, we can say the boiling point is directly proportional to vapor pressure. Okay, so before start discussing the second case, we need to understand variation of the boiling point of the water with respect to the atmospheric pressure in a bar. We can observe from this curve, as the atmospheric pressure is increases, then boiling point of water is getting increases, or as the atmospheric pressure is getting decreases, the boiling point of water also getting decreases. What do you mean by boiling point of water decreases? Means at normal atmospheric pressure the water can boil at 100 degrees Celsius, but if you decrease the pressure lower than the 1 bar atmospheric pressure, that is a 0.5 bar, the boiling point of water can be the 80 degrees Celsius also. Means boiling of water can be happen below 100 degrees Celsius also. And if you again decrease the pressure of water below the 0.5 bar, it is again getting decreases, that is 60 degrees Celsius or 40 degrees Celsius or even 20 degrees Celsius also. So in the table also we can say, we can see here at 1 bar the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, at 0.5 bar the boiling point of water is 80 degrees Celsius, and at 0.2 bar the boiling point of water is 40 degrees Celsius. So pressure, as pressure decreases, boiling point of also getting decreases. Now coming back to our second case, I already said that the boiling of the water is result in the vapor pressure. So if anyhow in this empty space containing the same water at same level at 20 degrees Celsius and normal atmospheric pressure, if anyhow we are able to do this vapor pressure is empty space less than or equal to the vapor pressure of water, then this water can start boil. This is a basic thermal process. Okay, so if any by any means if you are going to keep this pressure at empty space above the water surface below the atmospheric pressure near to the vapor pressure, then this water can boil even less than the 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is the process, or this is a vapor pressures and boiling of the water. Now in connection with our topic, that is centrifugal pump, in centrifugal pump there are many points in the centrifugal pump in which the pressure of the water or pressure in that area is fall below the atmospheric pressure, and it is near to the vapor pressure of the water, because basically centrifugal pump is working with the water. It's a hydraulic pump in our case. So we need to understand at which point the pressure is below the atmospheric pressure. Okay, so at suction side we know that to enter this water from sump level to the inlet of the impeller, okay, at the inlet of the impeller, the pressure at the inlet of the impeller, that is eye of the impeller, at this point should be less than the atmospheric pressure. Then and then water can flow from atmospheric pressure to this particular suction pressure, because the suction pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure and fluid is always flow from high pressure to the low pressure. If this pressure at the suction side or inlet of the impeller is less than atmospheric pressure, then water can be transferred from this sump level to the inlet of the impeller. So in the inlet of the impeller or suction pressure is less than what, it's a less than the atmospheric pressure. If anyhow, or if by some cases due to the high rotational speed of the impeller, the water pressure or that pressure at that area inlet of the impeller is lower than the atmospheric pressure, and again it is near to the vapor pressure of the water, then at this point inlet of the impeller the water start boiling. Okay, and this boiling results in a forming of the vapor bubbles of the water. Then what will happen? The pressure is again increasing from this inlet of the impeller to the outlet of the impeller. So whatever the bubble formation takes place in this inlet region, they can carry away with the water into the high pressure region. And what will happen at the high pressure region, this water bubble get collapse, and due to this collapsing of the bubble, that bubbles carrying away the vapors and it will form the small microjet. Okay, we can see in the next slide also they will create this small microjet, means individual bubbles are creating this small microjet, and this small microjet creates or results in the micro cracks on the material of the casing or material of the pump. So we can also call as this is erosion, and this is not a single bubble, there are hundred or thousands of the bubble, and simultaneously they are getting collapsing in high pressure region, so that the erosion takes place or damage of that particular surface takes place. It's also called as a erosion and pitting action. So this particular process of the erosion and pitting action due to the vapor bubbles in centrifugal pump is called as cavitation. Through this block diagram also we can summarize this cavitation process. First one, there is a low inlet pressure due to the high impeller speed. Okay, as speed increases the suction pressure also getting increases. Suction pressure means is below the atmospheric pressure, it is again lower and lower atmospheric pressure. If it is getting reached to the vapor pressure, then due to the very low pressure there is a boiling of water, and due to this boiling of water there is a formation of the bubbles, and if there is a formation of bubble, this vapor bubble carried out in high pressure region, and then this vapor bubbles is get collapse, and due to collapsing of the bubble it will form the microjet, and this microjet convert pitting action into the surface. Okay, and this result in impeller damage. Got it? So this is a process of cavitation in the centrifugal pump. So we can see this effect of the cavitation in the slide shown in figure. Initially the impeller is brand new, but cavitation is starting from the inlet of the impeller, because this is eye of the impeller, so this is inlet of the impeller, and the cavitation region starts from the inlet of the impeller, because initially the vapor bubbles start from the inlet of the impeller itself. Then or means as the time is increases, with commencement of the time the damage also increases, and finally after 24 months, means after 2 years, we will getting the complete damage of the cavitation. And this is happen usually in the cavitation. Lot of research is going on centrifugal to avoid the cavitation. Okay, so this is the effect of the cavitation. So it's directly related with the performance or existence or physical existence of the centrifugal pump. So it's a very important in centrifugal pump. So in order to determine whether the cavitation will occur in any portion or suction side of the pump, the critical value of the Thoma cavitation factor is, remember, this is critical value, means this cavitation factor or Thoma cavitation factor is the empirical formula. It can be given as 0.103 into specific speed ns upon 1000 raised to 4 by 3, or also it is can be given in terms of npsh or manometric head, means it is a ratio of npsh and manometric head. We are going to discuss in further slide what is npsh and manometric head. So now if the critical value, I mean the sigma c value is less than the critical value, then cavitation will occur. Okay, so this is all about the cavitation and Thoma cavitation factor. Next, how to define whether the cavitation will occur or not. Okay, so for that we have to check the first one, the maximum suction depth or suction height, because as height is increases, the suction pressure is also having the effect on that height. Okay, theoretically we can prove it. Okay, we know this is a impeller, consider this impeller section or I section is 1, and this is a 0 section at normal sump level, that is atmospheric pressure. If you apply the Bernoulli's equation at this atmospheric or sump level and inlet of the impeller, then you will get this equation, that is we will get the equation, that is atmospheric pressure upon rho g plus v velocity head plus datum head plus again this suction pressure head p1 by rho g plus v1 square by 2g plus z1, that is datum head, plus some friction losses in suction pipe. So this head also we have to consider over here. Okay, so This is friction head loss in a suction pipe friction. This equation already given over here. This is Bernoulli's equation. By simplifying it, this atmospheric pressure head P atmospheric by rho g is equal to suction pressure head at impeller or inlet of the pump P1 by rho g plus suction velocity head plus HS plus HFS. What is this HS? It's basically suction head. So suction head means what? We have considered over here Z1. Z1 means what is the height of the inlet of the pump from the datum. And if you consider this is a datum, then this is a height. Okay, eye of the impeller and to the sump level, and this height is called as suction head. We already discussed this one. So Z1 is equal to what? Suction head, and friction head you know already. So from this one you will get the inlet pressure head, which is a P atmospheric upon rho g minus this term. Okay, means the suction head should be or must be less than the atmospheric pressure head, but we have to simultaneously avoid the cavitation also, because this is a necessary condition. Until and unless this suction head or pressure head P1 by rho g is not less than the atmospheric pressure head, the pumping of the water will not be start. Okay, so now we have to check this P1 by rho g should be less than or lower than the atmospheric pressure head, means that is P atmospheric upon rho g, but it should not be equal or less than the vapor pressure head. So we have to put the necessary condition over here, that is P1, that is this particular suction or inlet pressure head should be greater or equal to the vapor pressure. This is a limiting condition for avoid the cavitation. So we can put here P1 is equal to P rho v. So vapor pressure head is equal to P atmospheric upon rho g minus V1 square by 2g plus HS plus HFS. Means this is vapor pressure head HV. We can write in terms of the head energy now. Atmospheric pressure H atmospheric. So HV minus H atmospheric minus V1 square by 2g minus HS minus HFS. So we actually our means aim is what? We have to find out the suction head. What is suction lift or suction height? So this suction head or suction lift is equal to what? H atmospheric, that is atmospheric pressure head minus vapor pressure head minus HFS and minus V square by 2g, that is suction velocity head. So this equation means this equation is necessary equation for the suction lift to avoid the cavitation, and according to this equation, if the suction height of the pump means actual height of the pump is more than the HS, then there is a possibility of the cavitation. Means we have to theoretically first of all measure the suction height at the with respect to where actually we have to install our pump system. So that suction height should not be more than the this particular calculated suction height, otherwise there is a possibility of cavitation. This is the first point. Okay, now another most important parameter to calculate the cavitation is net positive suction head. It's also called as a NPSH. Okay, the term NPSH is commonly used in pump industry because minimum suction conditions are specified in terms of NPSH only. Okay, usually the suction lift or suction height is one of the parameter to avoid the cavitation or to define the cavitation will occur or not, but normally in industry we are using for the net positive suction head term. Okay, and what is the net positive suction head? The net positive suction head is the net head required to make the liquid flow through the suction pipe from the sump to the impeller without cavitation. Okay, so what is the net head required to make that particular liquid flow through the suction pipe from the sump to the impeller without cavitation? Okay, so it can be given as the absolute pressure head at inlet of the pump plus velocity head at the inlet of the pump minus vapor pressure head. Okay, means whatever the absolute pressure head at the inlet of the pump, velocity head at the suction side, and minus vapor pressure head. So it is can be written as P1 by rho g plus V square by 2g minus PV by rho g. I have just rearranged for the solution of this one, but P1 by rho g is equal to what? This is what inlet pressure head P1 by rho g. So it is equal to what? P atmospheric by rho g minus V square by 2g plus HS plus HFS. Okay, from this equation. Okay, we can see this is the equation. P1 by rho g is equal to P atmospheric by rho g minus V1 Vs square 2g plus HS plus HFS. So we can just take this P1 by rho g directly over here. Otherwise we can obtain this P1 by rho g by applying the Bernoulli's equation. Okay, if you not remember, then by putting this value over here we will get P atmospheric by rho g minus V1 square by 2g Vs square by 2g minus HS minus HFS minus PV by rho g plus Vs square by 2g. Okay, so P atmospheric by rho g will result in H atmospheric head. We have to just take in terms of the head. This Vs square by 2g and Vs square by 2g will get cancelled. Then PV by rho g is the vapor pressure head minus suction height or suction head and minus friction head at a suction pipe. Again, you have to just rearrange this equation, that is atmospheric pressure head minus Hs minus Hfs minus Hv. Okay, so that is net head. This actually, what is this subtraction, whatever the atmospheric pressure head, subtraction of Hs plus Hfs means suction height plus Hfs, if you take the in bracket, so it is a result in net head. So net head available at inlet minus vapor pressure head is equal to what? Total suction head. Okay, so how to define whether the cavitation occur or not, or how to guess from this NPSH? So if the required NPSH is generally provided by the manufacturer, which is determined by experimental in the lab itself, before means at a time of manufacturing that pump actually. Okay, and suppose I had to install that pump at some place. Okay, and at that place I have to actually calculate the NPSH from equation number 1. Okay, because I know the vapor pressure head, I know the friction losses provided by manufacturer, again I know the atmospheric pressure head, but the suction height I have to calculate. And after calculating the suction height and all these parameters, I will get the NPSH. Then I will compare this available NPSH at actual condition with the required NPSH. And to avoid the cavitation, this available NPSH should be more than the required NPSH. Okay, if the available NPSH is more, this vapor pressure is getting decreased, means it is decreasable, so there is a cavitation free operation. So to avoid the cavitation, the available NPSH means at actual place should be the required NPSH that is given by the manufacturer. So this is the importance of NPSH and suction height. Okay, so this is a theoretical this is a numerical, or we can say the derivative based analysis. Now what are the factor or tend to cavitation? First of all, high impeller speed. Okay, if the impeller speed is high, there will be the high suction pressure, so that may be possibility that suction pressure reaches to the vapor pressure of water, so there may be chances that cavitation is occur. Then similar to this, too high specific speed also is there. Sometimes if you are transferring the fluid with high temperature, then itself there is a boiling of that particular fluid, so cavitation will be occur. And already we have discussed that available NPSH is less than a required NPSH, then there is a cavitation also. The small diameter of suction pipe and inlet diameter impeller means if the decreasing area of the pipe result in high velocity. Okay, because we know area decreases, velocity of water getting increases likewise. So to avoid the cavitation, first of all we have to maintain the low velocity liquid in suction pipe by increasing the area, then keeping the low temperature of the flowing fluid, keep the vapor pressure down and obtain the larger NPSH, and using the suction pump without sharp bend to reduce the loss in head. The loss in head is, if it increases, then definitely the vapor pressure also getting increases. So these are the cavitation, NPSH and suction height. Hope you understand it. So this is the okay. So thank you students for attending this session. Thank you.